Welcome back to Fast Markets. Cash Tags time. Today we're discussing Tesla. I know it's a crowd favorite. It's a favorite of our next guest, which is the co-founder of LikeFolio.com, Andy Swan. Andy, you've been beating the Tesla drum for as long as I've been covering markets, and I think it's time for a very deserved victory lap for yourself and your team, because this is one of the most monstrous rallies over the last quarter that I've ever seen from a mega cap company. I mean, I know we've seen the stuff with NVIDIA in the last year, but Tesla's not only come back from the dead, if you could call its kind of hibernation over the last few years that, but it's left those previous levels in the dust. It's almost $460 a share now. This is just a absolutely monstrous rally.
Yeah, it's been a huge rally, and it's really, kind of comes down to, it's when you make a huge bet like Elon Musk did on the 2024 election. When you make a huge bet like that, it's very good to be right, and that's what we're seeing. That is clearly what happened, and I think the company is now in a position to get all of the naysayers out of the way, which supposedly Tesla was too politically charged. Elon Musk was too politically charged. He was driving customers away. Well, LikeFolio data shows that the opposite has happened. Yes, some customers, I'm sure, will never buy anything Elon Musk produces, but that's a very small but loud contingent. And LikeFolio data is showing that year over year, the customer happiness level for Tesla has improved by 10%. That consumer interest, if you look at web visits, is at an all-time high. And, third, and I think most striking, is that those comments that we're seeing, that activity that we're seeing, is becoming more emotionally charged. And I'm talking about emotionally charged not from a political spectrum point of view, but from the emotive ways that people are talking about their experience with the products, with full self-driving, with smart summon technology. We're getting back to where Tesla is once again magical, and it's bringing people to talk about Tesla in new ways. And I think that full self-driving is only going to continue to do that. The Cybertruck, as polarizing as it is only going to get people to continue to do that. So from a LikeFolio perspective, all things are looking good in terms of data, in terms of the consumer point of view, in terms of the affordability of the vehicles, EV tailwinds, and now Musk has made a big bet politically and has won.
Andy, there's a lot going on with Tesla right now, and autos is just one of them, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I live in suburban Chicago. There's a lot of Cybertrucks in my neighborhood, an amazing, eye-catching amount of Cybertrucks. They've got new cars coming out. Unless I'm wrong, they've got like some new body shape images seem to be coming out on some of the cars. Full self-driving, much like his pay package, seemed unattainable a couple years ago. Now it's basically here. It's basically coming. And if you get in a Tesla, like for an Uber or something, that's the last time I rode in one, the visuals, you start to realize full self-driving is going to happen. It's just a matter of when now. And I think what the stock is doing here is saying, oh, it's coming quicker than you think. Dan Ives put $515 price target on it today, and his quote, autonomous future is coming sooner. Andy, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it absolutely is. And I was skeptical about that a year and a half ago as a Tesla user or as a Tesla owner. But last night, my Tesla drove me from a steak dinner downtown, through the downtown streets, onto the highways, hit the exit, goes through my neighborhood, four-way stops, all the way to my driveway without a single intervention, completely comfortable with me and my family in the car. It's something I thought was not going to be possible for years, if ever, is already here. And I think when you extrapolate that to the potential economic output of that, and the autonomous taxi EV future, that being closer than we thought is a major boon for Tesla's profitability, for its expansion globally, all of the things that Elon Musk has been talking about for a very long time that, a lot of the doubters and the haters and the naysayers said wasn't true. He's once again proving them wrong. I mean, I can remember when they said the Model 3 was never going to be mass produced, and now it and the Model Y are two of the best-selling cars in the world, not even EVs, but best-selling cars in the world. So the guy's consistently proven people wrong. He will continue to do so, and we think Tesla's hit, kind of that ultimate tipping point where it's gone from speculative to inevitable.
Andy, and you also take into account, too, the advances that you're describing in your own personal experience and how far it's come in such a short period of time, kind of just extrapolating that out, we'd expect more and more improvements. But I'd also imagine, too, as more and more of the cars begin to be driverless, they're going to interact and communicate with one another. There's going to be less kind of uncertainty when it's all computers driving all the cars, or the vast majority of them. So you can really see how this advances. It's just a matter of how long does it take from this point. But Andy, I want to get your thoughts broadly. You talked about sort of the political bet paying off. It does really seem that there's been a very notable shift in the zeitgeist. You look at the incoming administration and President Trump, and just kind of objective metrics like approval ratings. He doesn't seem to have ever been as high as he is now. It seems like a lot of the negativity maybe has reached a fatigue point, and maybe that spills over to something like Tesla as well. I mean, I see the Cybertruck, and I see that as a visual reminder of just a pushback on all norms. And most really successful entrepreneurs have that mentality. I'm going to do what's never been done. Elon Musk is a living embodiment of that to me. What are your thoughts on that kind of conversation broadly?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And, speaking of the Cybertruck, I think you nailed it. It's kind of that entrepreneur punk type of attitude that I'm going to do something that no one else has ever done, and you're going to say it won't work, and I'm going to make it work. And then you extrapolate that out a little bit, and all you have to do is have a little bit of an imagination to say, okay, the Cybertruck is a new vehicle on a really large chassis. I'm going to embarrass myself from my automotive parts standpoint, but on a really large foundation, and extrapolating that out to a more traditional pickup truck or minivan, I think is really quite simple to do. And I could see Tesla saying, look, we figured out how to produce this thing that's bulletproof and really weird, and now we're going to produce something that every mom in the United States wants to drive, and she can plug in her garage and not have to stop at the gas station anymore. I think that you can make a case that they could sell 10 million units of that really, really quickly. So I think it just takes a little bit of imagination, a little bit of getting past that entrepreneurial punk attitude to see this is a person that has taken, what was originally a roadster, high-end, very expensive, fast car, and turned it into a company that is now producing Cybertrucks all the way down to the Model 3, which is cheaper than a lot of Toyotas and Hondas. And I think you just have to understand that vision and extrapolate it out a couple of years with a little bit of optimism, a little bit of hopium, and a little bit of confidence in the person that's leading the team.
Yeah, and at some point, the track record, I think, instills that, right? I mean, he wrote that little message, make an expensive electric vehicle, take the proceeds, make it a little bit less expensive, make it affordable. He's done it. He's made the Cybertruck, even if it was a joke at first, it's reality now. You see the stuff with SpaceX. At some point, doubting this particular leader of businesses is a very dangerous proposition. And so I'll see what he does next, but I'm not going to be doubting it. Andy Swan, appreciate the insights as always, co-founder of LikeFolio.com. With that, Kev, you get the fun job of, you can be as optimistic as you want about Tesla. Objectively, the dynamics have changed from an investment standpoint. Stock's doubled in 3 months.
Exactly.